I call to order the May meeting of the Lafayette Common Council. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to our nation's flag. I pledge
allegiance
to the flag
of the United States
of
to the
republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the clerk please conduct a roll call?
Heidi,
Here.
Blinker,
Here,
Reynolds, Jerry,
Here.
Brown,
Here.
Campbell,
Here.
Ollersmeyer,
Here.
Williamson, Downey.
Here.
Margie, I got you, Melissa.
Here. Okay. You've received the minutes of the April meeting. Are there any corrections? If not, we need a, oh wait, we shouldn't do that next. Should we do the public hearing next? I'm sorry. I messed up.
I move for a recess for the purpose of a public hearing on ordinance 2020-11.
Okay, Mr. Brown?
Second.
Okay. Have we had any public comments through email or over the phone?
No, we have not.
No public comment as far as that? Okay. Then we need to reconvene the meeting. Mrs. Altsmeyer
So moved.
and Mr. Downing.
Second.
Roll call vote. Oh, I didn't do the roll call the first time either. Roll call vote.
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Ollersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson, Melissa. Oh, I can't hear you. Okay, Downey, sorry.
Here.
Okay,
Approved.
all right.
Okay, let's see if I can get back in order here. Okay, we got the public hearing done. Okay, now the approval of the minutes. You've received the April minutes. Are there any corrections to those minutes? Okay, Mr. Clinker
I move we approve the minutes as communicated.
and Mr. Heidi.
Second.
A roll call vote.
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Ollersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson, Downing.
Aye.
Okay. Minutes
Okay.
approved. Okay.
Presentation and disposal of claims.
There are none.
Presentation of petitions and communications.
There are none.
Reports of city offices on file in the city clerk's office.
Fleet maintenance monthly March, police department monthly March, renew department monthly March, and waterworks department monthly March.
Okay, all these are on file at the clerk's office, and you can request copies by email to the city clerk.
Mhm.
Okay, there are no ordinances for second reading, so let's go ordinances for first reading. Okay, ordinance 2020-11.
An ordinance to vacate a utility easement in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Okay, Mr. Reynolds,
Move to hear and approve ordinance 2020-11.
Mrs. Williamson? I can't hear her. Did she second?
I don't see her. Yes, she's nodding her head. Yes.
Second, okay. Okay, Mr. Riley?
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry. Good evening, Kevin Riley, attorney with Riley, Teeter and Schreier, representing Church of Christ at Lafayette, Inc., the owner of the property. I appreciate you allowing us to go forward with this tonight in this format. The church owns several lots along Creasy Lane across from the Culver's restaurant. church has been at this location since the early to mid 90s. They have plans to tear down their existing building and build a new 21,340 square foot facility to better serve its members. It's going to offer more usable space, better access for seniors, and then also additional parking so that they do not have to use parking across the street at the bank and corridors on Sundays. In order to build the new facility, as they were looking at building, the church came across an easement that was a part of a recorded plat. That easement is located entirely on the church's property. The church owns the property adjacent to the easement, sitting adjacent to the easement as well. It's a utility easement. We've discussed this easement with the city engineer. They did not have any objection to us moving forward with this request. We don't see where this utility easement provides any benefit to any nearby property owners. So we are asking the city council to approve vacation of the easement. And upon vacation of the easement, the church would remain the owner of the land on which the easement's located. And happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay, any questions from council members? Any questions? No? Was there any public comment submitted about this ordinance?
There was none.
There was none? Okay. Okay. Hearing no comments from the public or any other questions from the council, please, clerk, conduct a roll call vote for ordinance 2020-11.
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson, Downey. Mr. Downey?
Aye.
Okay. Ordinance passes 8-0.
Thank you very much.
Okay, great. Thank you, Kevin. Ordinance 2020-12.
An ordinance amending section 2.01.020A of the Lafayette Municipal Code to change the time of the regular common council meetings.
Okay, Mr. Brown? Do you have a motion, Mr. Brown?
Oh, excuse me, I unmuted myself. Madam President, I move that we hear and approve ordinance 2020-12, first reading.
Okay, and Mrs. Alzheimer?
I've been called worse. It's all right. Second.
Okay, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, ma'am. Madam President, ladies and gentlemen of the Common Council, the ordinance before you, this was something that Cindy and I had discussed, and then she had discussed, I think, with everybody on the council to the best of her ability, and Mr. Reynolds was willing to sponsor this. We feel like it's in our best interest of the citizens, of our staff members and our department heads to move the city council meeting to 6 o'clock. There's so many conflicts with 7 o'clock with events that start in the evening, scout troops and stuff that want to come to our council meeting 7 o'clock. And by the time they're done, it's 8 o'clock or later. Parents wanting to get home and help their kids with homework if they want to get there. And then, of course, our own department heads who have kids that are in athletics and different things that are literally from 4:30 when they get off work till 7 o'clock, or 6:30 for the time for the start of the meeting. So we feel that by moving that back a little bit, we'll actually help people with attendance. It'll be a little bit easier to get here. They won't be here quite so late, and staff that's staying afterwards, again, can probably get to an event that starts at 7 o'clock. A lot of our meetings are done within an hour for their family and things. And I just think this lines up better with kind of people's modern lifestyles and when different events are, and will actually help people with attendance at the council meeting. So I think you also should probably give consideration to moving caucus back also to 6 o'clock. That doesn't have to be done in the form of ordinance. The council simply can do that and keep these both at the same time. And again, I think that will actually help people get to those meetings and get in better with the lifestyles that people currently have.
Okay. Any questions or concerns from the council members?
Well, as a person who travels for work, it makes it a little trickier for me with longer days. But if the council's desire is to move that up, then we'll just have to work it out.
Okay. Any other comments from council members? Was there any public comment on this through email?
No, there was not.
Okay. Hearing none, will the clerk conduct a roll call vote for ordinance 2020-12?
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
No.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson, Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 7-1.
Okay. Is ordinance 2020-13.
An ordinance for appropriation of a local option highway user tax funds, County Wheel Tax Fund 2490.
Okay, Mr. Campbell,
I move for passage of ordinance 2020-13 on first reading.
Mr. Downing?
Second.
Okay. Mr. Mayor?
Yes, ma'am. Madam President, ladies and gentlemen of the Common Council, before you, you have the an ordinance that will appropriate the money from more commonly known as the wheel tax here in our county. This was passed several years ago. Been incredibly beneficial to help paving roads, even though it is still very, very difficult to keep up with road paving and the expense of that. But the wheel tax does play an important part of that. As passage of the original ordinance, you might recall that we decided at that time that we would always bring this money as an additional appropriation once we knew about how much it would be, in the effort to be as transparent with our citizens as possible where this money was going, and to ensure that it was going towards roads. So that's what this ordinance does. Earlier today, I know that we emailed a sheet to you with the roads and the paving. I'm going to go ahead and read that into the record today, since we're doing this by go-to meeting. I'm going to read those streets into the record and then give the council a little bit of update on some other road projects, so you're kind of fully informed on, as it will be the public, on what will be taking place summer. So the preliminary list, we always say that because you never know exactly how far the money will stretch until you start tearing stuff up and see exactly what you find. But the preliminary list is the entire Greenbrier subdivision will be repaved. Concord Road from Teal Road to Maple Point Drive, North 15th Street from Erie to Salem Street, North 21st Street from Hall to Moore Street, South 16th Street from Kossuth to Central, South 15th Street from Kossuth to Central, Pasadena Drive from Kenwood to Cortland Avenue, Kenwood Drive from Pasadena Drive to Pembroke Lane, Pembroke Lane from Woodmere Drive to Pasadena Drive, Cortland Avenue from Peters Mill Drive to Cortland Drive, and Cortland Drive to the dead end, and South 26th Street from Main Street to South Street. Also using a part of this money, but other funds, will be Vinton Street from 29th to Longlois, Longlois from Elmwood to Vinton, and then part of our community crossing grant that we received, and then some of our own money. We will also be doing North 36th Street from Union to about the start of the UPS parking lot. We'll be repaving Old 231 from Veterans Memorial Parkway to Beck Lane. We will be paving Underwood Street from 15th to Erie. We will be paving North 19th Street from Erie to Greenbush Street. And we have repaved already Alabama from 4th to 7th as part of a Renew project. And then, as you know, Twickenham Boulevard is currently under construction, being rebuilt from South 9th Street to the Poland Hill roundabout. So that is a overview of the paving and road construction projects that we see taking place here in the summer of 2020. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Hey, Tony, if there's a sinkhole or something, would that be something that could divert some of those monies, or does that go to utilities since it's a sinkhole?
It depends what it's caused by. If it's a failure of a sanitary sewer or a stormwater line, then that paving would be part of the of those failures that would occur. Same thing with the water department. It was a leak, a valve that went bad, something that caused the problem, that would be borne by that specific utility. If it's a situation where the pavement, the sub-base, the base and binder have given way and it's a road issue, then we would have to divert money either from this or from some other funding where a legal use is road work, and that would be paid out of one of those funds.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, just a general question.
Yes.
How much fluctuation is there in the amount of money we get from the wheel tax every year, or is there much?
There's not a lot of fluctuation in the wheel tax money. It's went up a little bit each year, not a lot. The greater challenge that we've had is, for some reason, and I'm not sure why exactly, but the money that actually goes to motor vehicle highway, our MVH fund, has actually went down about $400,000 since 2018. So we're having to be very careful with that fund and watch it very closely. That's where the gas tax goes into, and that was a phased-in process for local units of government, 1/5 of our share over a 5-year period. That has started, so it's a little bit baffling why that would actually be going down. There was at least 1 year where the state had indicated that they had realized there was a formula error, and Indianapolis had been significantly underpaid. And so there was a catch-up period for Indianapolis, and we knew there would be some decrease to that. But it does seem odd that it has carried on now, and it is something that we are looking into because we have lots and lots of needs for road money.
That we do. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions from council members? Were there any public comments through emails?
No.
Okay. Okay, will the clerk conduct a roll call vote for 2020-13?
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Olsmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson, Downing.
Aye.
Kiddo, ordinance passes 8-0.
Okay, next we need to set a public hearing for this ordinance for June 1st at 6:31 p.m. Mr. Klinker, can you?
So moved.
And Mr. Heidi?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Olsmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson, Downing.
Aye.
Public hearing set for June 1st at 6:31 p.m.
Okay, next on the agenda is ordinance 2020-14.
An ordinance for appropriation of a public safety local income tax funds, public safety lit fund 2240.
Okay, Mr. Reynolds?
Move to hear ordinance 2020-14.
And Mrs. Williamson? Again, did she second? Okay, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, Mr. Mayor? Can you guys hear?
No.
Mayor's not coming through.
Yeah.
Oh, that was my fault. I forgot to click.
Okay.
Madam President, ladies and gentlemen of the Common Council, you have before you the appropriation ordinance for the public safety lit. As you know, last year, our entire area, the city of Lafayette, West Tippecanoe County, passed a public safety income tax to help fund the needs of public safety in our community. It was something that we had been able to do for about 12 years, and we had never done it. But the time had come for us to take that step. Here in the city of Lafayette, during that process, we talked extensively about using a portion of that eventually to build a new police station that we need. And that process, just so you know, has started. We have hired the architectural firm, the engineering firms, that first phase of the team to design that new facility, and it will be built across the street on the current City Hall parking lot, along with some additional parcels that we're going to buy going towards the east, down Columbia towards 7th Street, and that it would also be used then as we look at some longevity pay for our police officers and firefighters, and then additional personnel and other expenses such as vehicles, software for the police and fire departments. While we were going through that process, as you know, we had to take different votes, and then it had to go to the state of Indiana to be approved, and that had not all been completed by the time we passed the budget. So this is the appropriation that would allow the controller's office to begin to use those funds. We are taking in that on a monthly basis, and so these are some of the expenses we're looking at. We don't plan to use all of that money this year because we won't have the longevity pay on board yet. The negotiations with the firefighters union and the Fraternal Order of Police will take place this year. Their contracts are up to begin in 2021, and obviously we don't have a bond payment yet because we're just in that design engineering phase of the new facility. In addition, we're going to be careful with the money to potentially carry additional money over if we can and need to. As you know, with the current COVID situation, income taxes with the folks on unemployment claims being up, out of work even for a period of a couple months, will certainly affect the collections of those. And for our 2021, 2022, particularly those two budget years. So we're going to be careful to make sure we can carry some money over so we can do this in a balanced, consistent way till we work through everything that we're in and the economy is back into full steam. And of course, you know, those collections are about 18 months in the rears for filings that are done, and then it's collected and then given to us. So you have to look at that in a multi-year way of how that money comes to us. So we're going to appropriate that. We won't spend it. We'll carry some over to help with next year. Don't know for sure how much that will be down. Some initial calculations could be that we may be down just in the public safety lit about $400,000, depending on how fast the economy kind of gets back on track, but nobody has a crystal ball yet on exactly how that is going to work. So that's kind of the explanation, just kind of a recap of the process to get us to this point. The money is starting to come in. We need to do this to stay in compliance with the State Board of Accounts and the Department of Local Government Finance. And we appreciate your approval, and we'll keep you advised how the process with negotiations goes for the funds.
Okay.
Mayor, is there any way that that money could be, let's say, taken or absconded by other organizations within the state, given the budget problems they're going to have?
There is not a way within the state. Our joint ordinances that we did here and the way the state law works, it is very clear on what this can be used for and that it's ours. The one thing that could happen is there are other smaller governmental entities within Tippecanoe County that do provide public safety, primarily volunteer fire departments, that they would have, now they have their own tax rate to help with that, but they would have the ability to request that. There would have to be a vote taken to approve that or not approve it, but that could happen. But from some other entity outside of Tippecanoe County, no, there is no mechanism for that to happen other than it will go down because of the number of people that are collecting unemployment, not working, that, not be paying in the same level of taxes that we had received in the last several years.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, any other questions from council members? Were there any public comments through email?
No, there were not.
Okay. Would the clerk conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2020-14?
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson, Downey.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Okay, we need to set a public hearing for ordinance 2020-14 for June 1st at 6:32.
Madam President,
Yes.
will the time change for the June, because we approved a 6:31, the last one, will it be 6:01 or 6:31?
Takes 2 readings.
Okay, you're right. Thank you. Sorry.
Okay, so we need to set that public hearing. Mrs. Alsmeyer
So moved.
and Mr. Brown.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson, Downey.
Aye.
Public hearing set for June 1st at 6:32 p.m.
Okay, now we're on to the resolutions. Resolution 2020-10.
A resolution to amend the City of Lafayette Community Development Block Grant and the Lafayette Housing Consortium Home Program 1-year annual action plan for 2019.
Okay, Mr. Campbell.
I move for passage of resolution on first reading and final.
Okay, and Mr. Downing.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Mayor.
Madam President, ladies and gentlemen of the Common Council, this resolution before you adds, as you know, we were working to start a small business loan assistance program here in our community to help our small businesses that were really struggling. And our community received a CARES Act allocation, a special CDBG, some funds from CDBG in the amount of $394,084 to create, to use that towards small businesses. There were some other potential uses that were legally allowed. We felt, looking at what was being done in the community and other funds that were helping different segments of our community, that the one that we really needed to help the most was our small businesses. So we chose to use the funds for that and to create a forgivable loan program. We also had a little bit of money left over. We typically don't have a lot of CDBG money left over because we do a lot of sidewalks. We help a lot of organizations, but we did have a little $5,916. So we were able to move that over to make the amount an even $400,000. So we put a program together. I want to thank Dennis Carson and his team over in Community and Economic Development, and Michelle Reynolds and her team out at the Lafayette Housing Authority, who helped put all this together. There's still a lot of rules that have to be followed and a lot of things that had to be done to get an application process out, a verification process out to meet all of the requirements. And I want to thank them for their hard work in getting that done. Part of the HUD requirements to be able to actually spend this money and to give it to small business is that we need to make the amendment to the 5-year consolidated plan 2015 through 2019 to amend this and add this economic goal of the small business fund, the citizen participation plan, and all that needs to be amended. We have had a public comment period that was able to be shortened because of the COVID-19 rules that have been changed by the federal government to allow projects and programs like this to get done quicker, to help people in need, and to get the money to them in need. We received no comments since April 25th on this amendment, where people could have commented if they wanted to. So we've satisfied that requirement, and we would appreciate your support. We've already started taking applications. The money is basically spoken for. We still have to verify the businesses that have made it through the very first segment of the process. Now there's a second segment, a vendor packet they have to fill out. If they all make it through that, then the money would be gone. If some do not, we have some money left over. We still have businesses that qualified for that first part but didn't score as high on the matrix that we would go to then with that money until the money was totally gone. So this will satisfy HUD, and once you vote tonight, we'll send this off to HUD. We'll sign the grant agreement, and we are hoping, by the end of the week that we can start cutting checks for those small businesses that have qualified initially and made it through the second phase of all the verifications that are required.
Will that require another vote by the city council, which would, it used to be for two, we'd have 2 votes for this since it's a resolution. Will one more vote take care of that requirement?
Well, we just have to have the one vote because we're just amending the plan to include this program in there, and then we'll be voting on the next one to approve the annual action plan for 2020. That's going to have the rest of the CDBG, and I'll explain that, and the programs in there. So these 2 votes is all the council is required to do, since this is not property tax money and stuff that we're getting as part of our budget, that this is CDBG and home funds. These are the 2 votes that we'll need to take that will allow us to expend those funds.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions from council members? Were there any public comments submitted through email?
I just got an email from Susan Schlechter asking if the list would be the business of the list be published of the businesses that were awarded the grants.
Yes, we have told the media once the final list is done and people that got through the whole thing and it's totally verified, we will release the list. We're not doing that until that has all taken place, because we don't want to get bad information out there and then somebody doesn't make it through a step and they're not actually on the list. So we want to wait till that's totally complete. And of course, we wanted to wait till the council members took these 2 votes this evening. I did collect applications, but we did not prematurely tell anybody it's guaranteed, because this vote not taken, even though I was quite confident you would all be supportive of helping small business.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments? Okay. Will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on resolution 2020-10?
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell, Mr. Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson, Downing.
Aye.
Resolution passes 8-0.
Okay, next one is resolution 2020-11.
A resolution to approve the City of Lafayette Community Development Block Grant and the Lafayette Housing Consortium Home Program Annual Action Plan for 2020.
Mr. Clinker?
I move we approve 2020-11 resolution.
Okay, and Mr. Heidi?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Mayor?
Madam President, ladies and gentlemen of the Common Council, the resolution before you, this is a resolution type that you have seen before in the past. This is the resolution to approve the 2020 CDBG and Home Program Annual Action Plan. So most of you know, each year we get money from HUD for CDBG and Home to do all kinds of different projects, from helping with housing, rental assistance, sidewalks, we help LUM, Lafayette Transitional Housing. Many of you have been through this for many, many years. So this allocates that money towards those people. Have to come in, they submit an application to us, we read it off, they tell us about what they're going to do. We go through that entire process. So this is to allocate that money, and I'm going to, so I don't mess this up, I'm just going to read the next parts of this to make sure that it gets read into the record correctly. So this is for program year 2020, which officially starts on July 1st of 2020. This allocates the CDBG grant money of $669,906 plus prior year unused and program income for a total of $715,619. This resolution also allocates for 2020 home grant of $840,168 plus prior year unused and program income for a total of $1,067,112. Approval of this report and plans completed to support the action plan include 20 to 2024 5-year consolidated plan, 20 to 2024 analysis of impediments to fair housing, citizen participation plan amended to reflect the declared emergency events, and this 2020 annual action plan and reports have been available for review since April 3rd, and we have received no comments about the plan. So with that, I would entertain any questions if you might have them. Thank you.
No. Okay, no questions from the council members. Any other email or anything concerning this?
No, I did. That worked out very well. I text Susan was able to hear the mayor's response on the last resolution, and I texted her real quick or emailed her back real quick. She said, great, it's what she needed to know. So this is working out pretty well.
Yeah, okay. Okay, will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on resolution 2020-11?
Heidi?
Aye.
Thinker?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Campbell?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Olsmeyer?
Aye.
Williamson? Downey?
Aye.
Resolution passes 8-0.
Okay, reports of standing committees. Any? Reports of special committees. Reports by the mayor. Anything additional?
Madam, I'm sorry.
Anything additional from what you've already spoken?
If I could just briefly, first of all, I would like to just quickly thank all the citizens of our community that have worked so well as we went through this very difficult the period of time with the COVID-19. As you know, as an entire county, we have done very, very well here with our numbers in a coordinated and collaborated community response. And so I just want to thank all the citizens, community, the businesses, everybody, all the other elected officials, government agencies, educational agencies that have worked so hard to get us through this. A special shout out to the Lafayette School Corporation for the food program that they're doing every Friday. I think last Friday I was told they gave 48,000 meals out for to families in this community. So this has been a tremendous community response, a lot of compassion, kindness, resiliency, hard work from United Way and other organizations to serve so many different populations. So I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank the community for that, but also to remind them that we still need to be vigilant. We still need to practice our social distancing. We need to be wearing our masks. We need to be careful about what we are doing as we slowly reopen the economy. But careful, very cautious, and do all those things that have helped get us to this point, and don't let our guard down just yet. I'd also like to thank the City of Lafayette team. We have almost flawlessly pulled off continuing to provide essential services to our citizens while we have people working from home, working remotely, juggling shifts, juggling people. But our police department, fire department, water, wastewater, renew, sanitation, who has picked up over 1,000 additional tons of large items and trash in the last 2 months. With people staying home, they're really cleaning out their garages and sheds, and they have just worked tirelessly to stay on top of all of that. Andy and IT and his team helping set up all these meetings, and I said Dennis and his team keeping economic development going, engineering, Cindy's office. I mean, just everybody has worked so well. The Parks Department, under very difficult circumstances, to keep projects going, keep services going. Utility billing, we have 35,000 customers that we bill each month, and the work that they're doing to keep this safe for everybody has just been tremendous. So thank you to the council. Thank you to the community. There's light at the end of the tunnel, but we still need to remain vigilant. But I wanted to send out that thank you to everybody that's involved. So I appreciate your indulgence to let me speak for a few minutes, but I felt that it was important.
Mayor, thank you for your leadership as well.
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, miscellaneous and any new business? Reports of councilmen. Were there any other public comments
No.
or anything else? Okay, and Mr. Heidi?
I move to adjourn.
Second. Second. Do you have to do a roll call on this?
Sure, let's do
I
it.
think we should.
Okay,
Okay.
Heidi,
roll call vote.
Aye.
Clinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
All right.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson, Downing.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.